A little bit more?
Left. I think so.
Okay, yeah.
So my question for you is, now that you've been through it since you were so young, all the way through the different ranks and all the frontiers and service stars and, I mean, just incredible accomplishments, is there anything that you could give advice to us as leaders, as the coordinator of our group, things that we might be able to do to make HG better and or make the experiences more rich for the ones behind you? And know that, you know, your constructive criticism is so very helpful. So anything that you can, you know, maybe something worked 2 years ago that you really appreciated. Maybe I also saw troop meetings are at the bottom of your little list there. So what are some ways that we might be able to, just your little wisdoms?
Well, I guess my best advice is, I've had a couple different, I guess I'll just think about my leaders themselves and what kind of leadership I really liked. So I've had a couple different leaders. When I started at HG, I had Mr. and Mrs. Cox, and they were really good leaders. And then after I had Miss Melody, and then now we have Auntie Tracy. And I feel like my favorite leaders between those like sort of different groups were my first leaders, Mr. and Mrs. Cox, because like Miss Melody, who's like our second group, she was really laid back, and she didn't really push us to do too many things. She was like, you know, just do what you want and do your best. And that's all good and well to like tell someone to do their best, but I think a lot of times sometimes kids need a little push, because if you just tell someone, a kid to do their best, they're kind of just maybe going to be lazy or just like going to do what's easy and not like do what they should do. So I think like Miss Melody, she was a great leader, and I really loved her, but I feel like a lot of times like that year I didn't really accomplish that much just because she didn't really push me too hard. And then this year, Auntie Tracy, she pushes you really hard. Like she's really intense, and she's like, she wants us to work on like tons of badges and do all these things. And I think it's definitely what I needed. Like I needed that kind of leadership, especially for the Stars and Stripes. And so it was necessary, but sometimes it's not always that fun, because she's always just like, so like do this, do this, do this, and like it's not like as laid back as Miss Melody. So they were kind of two different, like two extremes. But then Mr. and Mrs. Cox, they were sort of the perfect in the middle. They were, first off, like it was like both of them together, they were sort of co-leaders. And they were really nice, and they were like both like laid back, but they had us do a lot of productive things. I remember that year we did so many things. We like worked on home care and repair, and we made like different like flag stands, and we painted them like pink camouflage. And I just remember the things that we did that year. I really have a lot of memories from like all the camping trips with them and all these different things. We worked on a horsemanship badge, and we like went and rode horses for a while, and we just did so many flag day and just all these different things. So I think they were my favorite leaders, because they were a good mix of like having goals and like pushing you to do things, but then still making sure you enjoyed it. Like, and I guess like even in comparison, I feel like this year like I've earned like the most badges ever my whole all the year, but I probably maybe haven't had as much fun just because it's been so intense. And then with Miss Melody, I think I only earned like a few badges, maybe like 3 or 4, but then with the Coxes it was like the good in the middle. Like I earned enough badges for me to feel like fulfilled, but then it wasn't too much that I didn't feel like I was only earning badges and not having any fun. So I'd say if I were to give you any suggestion, maybe work on sort of like having goals in mind, and like having the girls set goals, and like having things to look forward to, because you need a goal in life, but making sure that they also have sort of time to like kind of stop and smell roses and just like enjoy the process. Because if you don't enjoy the process and you just like rushing to the finish line, then you're not really sort of gonna like maybe like make memories or like, even really like it sometimes. I think it's important to have like the destination, but you need to enjoy like the way you get there. So maybe just like make sure the girls do that, and make sure that they have fun, but they also like are productive.
Oh, I guess I have a kind of it just popped in my head to have an add-on to that one. We were talking about setting goals and working through the badges. Do you feel that you would accomplish more during troop meeting breakout time as units, or did you benefit most heavily from meeting with your unit leaders outside of the normal troop meetings?
I think that it probably just depended on leaders, because like for Auntie Melody, when we would have unit meetings at HG, like sometimes we just like didn't do that much stuff, or just wasn't like there was nothing planned. Then a lot of times we just like kind of sat around and talked, which was fun in itself. But I think that the meetings themselves, like if there's things planned and if there's things set up, then I feel like productive and things like that. But then with Auntie Tracy, there's like always more badges to do. So I think like like I said before, like troop meetings are fun when there's like something to do, but it's not too like jam-packed into like the whole hour and 30 minutes. So I think it just depends on what you have planned, and sort of like you have to like think of like what they can actually accomplish in that time.
So So as pioneers and patriots, do you think that having additional meeting time with your units in addition to troop meetings is beneficial to try and accomplish badge work? So if you're working on a unit badge as pioneers and you can't accomplish everything in your 45 minutes that you have at your unit breakout, is that something that you think would be beneficial to then schedule in additional meetings?
Yeah, I think that's definitely beneficial. I think a lot of times too, because the Pioneer Patriot badges, they're a lot more intense. Like a lot of times there'll be requirements, and these like the required requirements, where you need to have sort of someone come in and talk to your unit and like give advice maybe on their career or things like that, or you need to like go on an excursion to sort of like a photography, like a museum, or like just different types of things like that. So it's almost like required that you have like these extra sort of meetings. So I feel like for Pioneer Patriots, definitely there needs to be because just the intensity of the badges, it's like either you have to trust the girls like to do it by themselves and just put all this pressure on them, or you should just like kind of have more like sort of opportunities for like to help them out. And so yeah, definitely for those the older, the harder requirements, definitely need more work and more time.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A few minutes.
Thank you.